Hello everyone, Jake here from the LOLOUT team, and today we are going to be playing Kerbal Space Program. Now, I've only recently heard about this game, and I immediately downloaded it as soon as I did because I love indie games, especially when they're in alpha, like this one. It is version 0.18.4 at the moment, and again, this is a game that will be constantly upgrading and updating as it progresses, so we're going to be looking at lots more things added in. But this game does not have much recognition among videos, and people just don't really know enough about it because this is a phenomenal game. It really is fantastic, and if you're watching this and you've never heard about this game before, or you're watching it and you've heard a little bit, then in this Let's Play, subscribe to the channel, keep looking out for it because I'm going to go through everything and show you how literally amazing this game is. So let's go ahead and start a new game, and we will start a brand new one, and we'll call ourselves Mr. LOLOUT, and I've got caps lock on because I am rather silly. Mr. LOLOUT. There we go, and we'll go for, it's only at the moment only sandbox, but there will be a career coming later. But sandbox is still fine because it adds a lot of challenge. So here we are. What is this now? This is at the moment the space center, and a brief summary of the game is you're trying to enter outer space from the ground up. So you're starting from little rocket ships just to try and get up out the atmosphere, or to maybe get into orbit. That's quite hard, but you can get into orbit, and then I'll show you can actually push out, as in, so here's our planet one right now called Kerbal, and we haven't even had any space missions yet. We haven't done anything, and we're just sitting on this little bit here, I think. So there's that, and then this is the focus of Kerbal. And then, right, that's not working right now, but as you can see, we don't have any flights in progress. But this here's the moon, so we can go and land on the moon, go and orbit the moon, land on it, whatever. Then we've got another moon here called Minimus, which is quite far away. And then we've even got more here. See all this is our solar system. Different planets that all have their own moons, so you've got a lot of exploring to do, guys. In this game, you have a lot of stuff to do. So we're going to try, in this episode, to get a rocket ship around, I don't know, let's say 100,000 meters up, just to scrape the surface of this brilliant game. So let's get going, shall we? So at the moment you can see this is quite basic looking, level ground and everything, but it doesn't matter. Forget graphics and all that. Even though it is phenomenal when you get into space, the graphics are really good. Just try and put that behind you. This is an alpha. It's a build, so let's go for that. So we won't worry about this building here. This is about space planes. We don't want to make a plane yet. We want to go and make a basic rocket ship. So here, that's the space plane station. That's the runway. This is the vehicle assembly building. That's where we build spaceships. That's the rocket launcher, and that's the tracking station. So that's where you can see your current missions. So let's go into the vehicle assembly building. So when we're inside, for what we want a quite a small rocket ship to just we just want something to see how high we can get ready with the basic stuff. So we want a small cockpit, not a large one, small one. This is a one-man kind of cockpit. We're looking at just kind of it's not going to survive anything big. Then we're going to want something to power the rocket. So we're going to want a fuel supply. We don't want a big one, we want a small one, like that. They also go color coordinated. And we're gonna want a liquid fuel engine as well. Now, this is enough to get us off the ground. This will probably mean we'll get about, well, not very high, but quite high. And I'll just show you what will happen. But before that, I need to install some things. Just for kindness sake, we need to give him a parachute because he's not going to come down. Trouble is, we might have a bit of trouble finding where to put a parachute on. I may have to change the cockpit here onto. Let's try this again, shall we? This cockpit is still the same really, but it just gives us more leeway. So we'll do exactly the same construction with the same rocket. We'll just put a, oh yes, of course we need a control, we want a SAS module. This is something that stabilizes you, so when we're in the air we're not going to be turning left and right and everything. It'll keep us steady. So we want a, not that's too big, we want to go on aerodynamic and build, well actually we can just probably just put the parachute on now. What was it under? Utility. Yeah, there we go. So now it's got a parachute on. Last but not least, we'll give it some wings so it actually stands a chance of staying in the air. This kind of ship will need wings really. There we go. So now I'll show you what this would do. So we click launch. Now the way this game works is because it's quite alpha. When you're like launching and stuff, it'll be a bit jerky for a while, like this. It's quite jerky, chilling at a cheeky 0 frames per second here. But it gets a bit better. It stays jerky for a while. This is just to let you do pre-flight things like look around your ship, that kind of thing. So as you can see, this is our ship on the launch pad. That's where we just built it in there. So the first thing you want to do is press T. T, you see that little SAS thing there? That means we're going to be steady, and that's the module we put in there. Second thing is, this is our throttle, and shift and control will control that. So we want to go full throttle to take off this ship. That's about it. This on the left here is the order of things happening, and this is not what we want at all, because the way things are going right now, this rocket starts at the same time as this parachute, and that would mean, well, it's just going to be awful. So you click minus, sorry, click plus, and that adds another one. So we want the rocket to go off first, and then the next time I put a sequence in, the parachute to go. So let's do it. So you press space to launch. Let's zoom out a little bit. There we go. We've taken off. Actually, this is going to get us quite far, I think. Got a good feeling about this one. It's quite a nimble looking thing, very aerodynamic. So as you can see, we're getting rather high. This is the meters how high we are. So we're going about, I'll say 30,000 meters up. And then this isn't important at the moment. This is our atmosphere, and you can see we're in a quite good amount of atmosphere here. When it gets down to that black area there, that's when you've got to start being careful of your passengers and whatnot. Other dials, these are, I'll show you them later actually. But resources, these are the resources we're using up. You see our fuel's going down. So yeah, this is our fuel running down as well. Yeah. So I got a feeling, well, I've got a feeling I know our fuel's gonna run out. So I'm just start angling. I turn T off and just angle us downwards to get ready for opening the parachute, because we're not going to get any higher than this. So as you can see, we're still rising here. We're going to rise for quite a while, but you can see our speed down here is slowly going down and down and down. And you can see things start looking really impressive up here. You can see the moon over there lighting up. You can see the Earth down below us, Kerbal, and our spaceship just floating around. We'll speed up time a little bit here, just to hurry things up. So our speed is dramatically slowing down. We are still going up though, as you can see. We're going up at a rather slow pace, however, and soon we're going to start dropping. Yeah, we're dropping now. We've started to fall, but it's okay, we've got parachutes, so we'll be able to save this creation. And you can see in the bottom right hand corner, that's our guy there, in a bit of trouble. He's having a bit of trouble down there, but oh well. I don't blame him. I'd be terrified if I was him. So we're just gonna brace for landing here, falling down with 15,000. When we get to 10,000, I'll activate the parachute. 10,000 parachute activated. There we go. Which means our ship's not going to be damaged that much when it hits the floor. It's going to be damaged somewhat, but not as much as it would have been if we'd have just let it fall from 20,000 odd meters up. So there we go. It's quite a good parachute. This it's quite small, compact. Yeah, it does the job. We're going at around 100 meters per second. We'll just speed things up. Dropping 70. And I love the the amount this game loads. Really, it loads so much when you think about it. It loads this planet, the moon, the other moons, all the other planets. And when people say, you know, games in alpha and stuff, they're not good enough, and you look at this and you think, you know, the budget this is on is not high at all, and it managed to accomplish so much. So we can just let our ship slowly go down. Now, don't worry, this won't happen much. I don't usually let my ships down safely. This was just to show you guys. It was just a demonstration. I usually leave them out in space until they crash. I know, I'm harsh like that. There we go. Made it destroyed a little bit, but our cockpit's alive and so is our pilot. So that was our first flight, and it wasn't too bad really. I remember when I first had a flight on this game, I didn't get that high at all. There must have been some experience, but again, this ship is not what we'd call capable of getting out of the atmosphere. It's not a very powerful ship. It's just got one single thruster. It's very aerodynamic, but I'm just going to show you an example of how we can make the ship a bit better. First thing, get rid of the parachute. Get rid of the cockpit. Actually, we'll just start fresh and I'll show you. There we go, new. You only need that, and we use this as a basic starter. Now, what I'm going to put as a rocket is a slow burner. These are really good at getting, once you're out of the atmosphere, there's less air resistance, so you go much faster and with less force. And these are designed to take like light spacecraft quite far. They don't run out of power pretty quickly, so that'll help us out quite a lot when we get further out. Now, these are the big power sources, and I'm not sure if we should use one this early on. I'll tell you what. Okay, so I'm not going to use those big ones at the moment, but what I am going to use is, I'm not going to use this one straight away. This is a radial decoupler, and what this does is it means I can detach and monitor things whilst in the air. So if I have two of them and follow that up by two rockets here, if they choose to fit on. Now, this game is slightly buggy in the sense that often things don't like fitting on when you want them to, and you have to kind of like work with that, because it's just one of the problems that'll surely get ironed out. There we go. So what are these things? These are we'll call them disposable rockets, because these things are going to drop off as soon as they're out of their fuel. So you saw that I used the thruster earlier on. These things don't get controlled by my shift and control buttons. They get controlled by themselves. They basically keep on going until they burn out, and then they just stop. So what we're going to do is we're going to use these for takeoff. We're going to have them take us off and get us as high as they can, and once they've finished, we're just going to drop them off and use this one down here. So what this means is we're going to get a lot more height, and we're not going to have the weight of these ones pulling us down either. We're just going to have this main body here. One problem is we need a SAS module. Put it on these and these. Even though they're going to drop, we need it to be steady as it goes on. I'm also going to put one under here and bring this up, attach it there. Okay, I'm also going to get these, which are RCS ports, and these are basically, it's kind of like the SAS, but it's more concentrated. So you put it on areas that you think are gonna like flip around and things, and it hopefully holds them still. So I'm not worrying too much about these outer ones, because you know, at the end of the day, they're not going to survive very long. And you see it's done, because I have my symmetry on too, it's done them on both sides, which is exactly what we want. Right, any last adjustments? We'll just make these slightly more aerodynamic. No, they're too big. We'll go for 2 symmetry, and will they fit? No. Too small? Yeah. We'll go for them. And them on there too. Now this is looking rather formidable. One thing we're probably going to have to do is put some structure on it. These are so we can basically take off without too much of a problem. If we didn't have these on, it wouldn't balance very well before takeoff. So we want to put them either side like that. So that's going to hold it up, and this thing will take off just like that. So hopefully, if everything goes to plan, this will get us much higher. We're going to name it the LOLOUT Mark 1. This is the LOLOUT Mark 1. I don't know how many marks we'll go through before we actually get into orbit or anything good like that, so we'll just have a LOLOUT Mark 1 for the time being. Okay, now this down here on the right hand side is the order of things. So this is the order things are going to happen from the first stage, which is 2, stage 1, stage 0. So the first thing that happens at the moment is these let go, which is what we want to happen, and then the rockets start, which is what we want to happen. Then the next time I press space, we want these to drop off, so the rockets fall off, which is just right. Aha, you see, this is a problem. If we'd have had it the same as this, when this took off, these two would have stayed on, as you see here. So we want to move them down there, so all of these let go at the same time. And then last but not least, when all these are gone, this will take off. It'll probably be easy just to show you, so let's go ahead and launch. And fingers crossed everything goes according to plan. I think it will. I have had quite a lot of experience with this game. We've been playing it a lot recently, and so I think that this will get us a certain way up. My only hope is that when these drop off, we don't take out the middle section. If that happens, that would be very, very bad. But let's be optimistic. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen at all. Okay. Houston. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Good start. We're steady. And everything let go. Both the rockets are going. You see here the rockets don't have much fuel, but damn, they're getting us up fast. Look at our speed. It's gradually going up and up and up. 140 meters per second almost, yep. So this thing will probably get us just to the edge of the atmosphere, and then we can use the proper one and see how that goes. Poor guy inside, we don't really have a parachute for him, so he's gonna have to make do and manage. He'll be lost out in space somewhere. I suppose that we could just have him, yeah, we could have him jump out if he wants to come down. If you press the EVA button there, they jump out. Okay, almost time for switching. They're gone. They drop. That starts. Good. Perfect, it's just what we want. Now what we have to make sure is that we don't stop going up. I hope this rocket is enough to power this whole thing, because if it's not strong enough, if this thing's too heavy, it's going to lose speed and then we're going to drop, and if we drop, that will not be good for this guy. But while we see if we're going to drop or not, let's just have a look at the orbital map. So we'll click M. This is the grand scale of things, okay? This is the curb in here, it's the moon. We can just zoom in here and have a look at our arc at the moment. This is us, this thing right here, LOLOUT Mark 1. So you can see on the grand scale of things, we're not doing too well. I'll tell you about Aposis and all that kind of stuff later on. It's not too vital at the moment. But yeah, we're kind of dropping speed a lot. But we've beat this episode's objective. We're doing okay. We're doing okay. 115, 114. Okay, it's kind of slowing down now, and we're still going up, so this is good. Now it's just dropping one at a time. I think it'll probably level off at about 110. No, this is at 112 it's staying at, and we're still ascending, so this is good. This is good. So we basically can wait for the liquid fuel to run out and see how high we get. I predict we'll probably get to about 40,000 maybe, if we're lucky. We'll see, we'll speed up time. Yeah, I know. Okay, so we're going 4th time warp here. Just make sure we're not dropping, and we're not. Oh, and we are speeding up actually, which is good. Don't know why. Oh yeah, because the atmosphere is dropping, you see? The atmosphere gauge here. When that gets to the bottom, there's basically no resistance at all, so we're going to keep on going. So yeah, we're going really fast. Liquid fuel is doing okay by the looks of things. See here, 50, we're beating what I thought we'd get. We're going much higher than that. I like the whole stage system of this game. Oh, music. That means we've entered zero atmosphere here. Oh shit, okay. So here we are, right above the earth here. This is bloody beautiful, I have to say. This when you get really high up, you know, you got the really good view of the spaceship here, the great graphics on that. And when you look down, look at that. Let's see if we can get the moon in the background there. So if you haven't seen, the rocket just ran out. That's it, that's all our stage is done. There's nothing else we can do apart from just let him go. So it's going to keep ascending for a bit and then he's going to drop. Because if we click M, you can see we are there, and it predicts we'll carry on till about there on just running off fumes. So I might as well tell you about this blue line. This line is about your orbit. So if we, for example, what we aim to do is get about, look where my mouse is, about there, high, with rockets, and then we'll slow down until this AP comes down to us. Then we'd accelerate and point our noses towards it, and hopefully what that'll do is send us in an orbit around Kerbal, which is what our objective will be in the foreseeable future, try and get a spaceship in orbit. Of course this one won't get in orbit, it's not high enough for one. It should have more rockets really, but for a first episode and for a second attempt, bloody brilliant. Very good indeed. Of course we don't have to keep watching this thing, we can go back and leave it or whatever. But I think this is quite a good thing to leave the this episode on. So if you like this series, guys, I'll leave the link to the website of this game down in the description. So be sure to go and check that out if you like it. It's a very, very good game. Or if you're not sure, wait a couple of days and another episode will be up, so you can, you know, decide yourself whether it's for you or not. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. It's going to be a great Let's Play. I have a good feeling about this one. Hopefully we'll be able to hit one of those stars out there, maybe. Who knows. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Goodbye.